we're live.
No, you just put that out there right away. Huh?
I told you before. Harry Jowsey, sir, live from LA. I usually host from New York, so it's a pleasure to be with you.
Did
here
you
in
fly
LA.
in just for this?
I flew in for this. Tomorrow. I don't know if I'm Jonathan Tucker. Do you know him? He's been on a couple Netflix series, Kingdom.
Nice.
And then hopefully, fingers crossed, on Sunday, Ilya from the Vlog Squad.
Oh shit! You're doing the rounds.
I'm doing the round.
Damn, you're in and out.
But I'm happy to be here with you today.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk about this stuff.
So first and foremost, ask my guests, you don't want me to tell you before, if there's a little tidbit, a little something that the world doesn't already know about Harry Jowsey, because I know you're already out. You're out there.
That's good. Okay, I should have thought about that. No, I'm an open book. So I just think my issue is I just overshare. So I tell everyone everything. So there's literally anything you want to know about me, you can just Google it, and there'll probably be a video of me somewhere talking about it. Is
there anything that you perhaps try not to share with the world, but you could be comfortable sharing it right now?
That I'm a massive simp.
Oh, now speaking of, let's get right to it.
I laid you up there.
You did. So I was scrolling this morning, woke up on a little bit of a what's it called? The jet lag.
Yeah.
Going through TikTok. I'm not a big I'm gonna start using TikTok a little bit more. Obviously, you're big on there.
Yeah.
And I see you post, honestly, a simp post. Let's be honest.
I'm a bitch boy.
A bitch. I didn't want to say it, but
you're allowed to.
A big bitch boy.
That's me.
And you post a little. What was it? A duet of like some of a video of you and Frankie, your ex.
It was a year ago today.
A year ago. So of course, well, you had to then, right?
Yeah.
I think you woke up feeling like a simp. Is what I think.
Nah, I'll be completely honest, and I haven't even spoken about this on my podcast. Me and it was a year since the show aired, like last Saturday.
Okay.
So I texted Francesca, and I was like, "Hey, stranger, it's been a year. I hope everything's well. I'm sending you love. I hope everything's good in your camp. Like, I'm proud of your success." She was in a relationship with someone in the UK, and she's living with us. So I was like, I hope that's going amazing. I just, at the bare minimum,
a little sprinkle in there.
No, I just legit just wanted to be I legit just cast a line out, because I'm like, you know what, it's been a year. We're both adults, and let's just move on, and I hope everything's sweet, because it's really awkward when I'm out and I see her friends and they all hate me because I was a bit of a dick. So I was just like, whatever, that happened. And then she's like, yeah, sweet, like, let's move on. She's legit, like, nothing more than just being on speaking terms is more than what we wanted. And then I was scrolling through TikTok, and I was like deep in my TikToks. I was like, oh shit, this date's coming up. I may as well duet it.
You have to.
I did it this morning when I was about to jump in the sauna.
And then you jump in the sauna, and then it kind of blows up.
It went
and
crazy.
then, wait, hold on. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just watch it together.
It went crazy.
And then, no, but the one that I liked the more than yours was hers. Wait,
You're really putting me on blast.
Well, I'm happy that I got you right when it happened.
Yeah.
It's in my likes. Hold on.
That's got nothing. That's got nothing to do with me. That's got nothing to do with me.
Nothing. So now that we've crossed that line, so what do we think about the developments of this morning? Does it?
No, I just like there's.
Don't tell me nothing like.
There's legitimately not. She's fresh out of a breakup. I just finished seeing someone, and
perfect.
No, she needs time to grieve.
Okay.
I need time to, like, I don't even know if I like her anymore. She doesn't even know if she likes me anymore. It's legit, like, straight, vanilla, like, friendship, like, we're speaking in terms. We're not even talking that much. It was just more so like, hey, I want to just squash this because I had a life-changing experience with this person, and so did she. Our lives changed together from this Netflix show. Why do I want to keep looking back at that, especially, a year, 2 years on, and then go, oh shit, that sucks because we hate each other, and she did this and I did that. I was like, fuck it. I'll be the mature person. I'll cast a line and make sure that everything's fine and we can move on. And if she's out in LA, it's just not awkward, because before, if I saw her out, she would have been like, get this guy kicked out, or I would have done the same, and it just would have been messy. But now I can move around like peacefully,
Beautiful.
There we go.
Innocent.
Yeah. It is. It's,
all right, I'll take your word for it.
There's nothing bad going on, I promise.
What's the biggest thing that you learned from that relationship?
Oh, that's very good. Communication is so vital. I learned so much, mostly in the breakup, and how I deal with it, and how valuable alone time is and having a break from your phone, because it's one thing to date someone and break up and tell your friends that they're a piece of shit or whatever, but it's also one thing to do that in front of the whole entire world, and then your ex saying that you cheated, you saying that she cheated, and then lies being sprung, like, and it just being put into like a big mess and toxic mess. So I think like it was crazy for the show to air, but then, you know, off the back of that, I have to deal with like the messiest, grossest, most disgusting breakup that I've ever been through, especially when my heart was still like, I fucking love this person. I just don't know how to communicate it because I don't know how to talk to her, because I've never been in this position before. So now I feel like I have a way better understanding on who I am, what makes people tick, and how to like approach a situation like that instead of going, fuck this, I'm going to shut off and kick her the fuck away from me.
Do you think that you were at rock bottom after that relationship or that breakup?
For sure, yeah. I've never had so many dark days. I remember I would just legit just drive and cry. Like and it was crazy to think to me that everything that I ever wanted in this entire world I had it. It was at my fingertips, but I was just so upset because my best friend and the person that I, thought I was going to be with forever, that relationship crumbled at my own fault because I just didn't know how to talk to her about what was going on in my head. I just freaked out and self-sabotaged.
How hard was it to also, have the relationship and the way it did, but then you're also in the public eye, so you have people commenting and really adding fuel to that fire.
It's one thing for a comment. Like, it took me a while to get used to reading bad comments and not entertaining, because I'm like, this person's 12 years old, they don't actually know me, and they're just somewhere in a random city and they're bored and they're trying to wind me up. It was another thing to be out and have people like yell at me and call me like a cheater and a loser and all this shit. That shit really stings, because my goal is to entertain and make people laugh. So when I'm out and people aren't happy and having a good time and aren't excited about talking to me about whatever they're doing, but they're attacking me, I'm like, oh, that's what really sucks. And then hearing that my mum was getting abuse and stuff like that, that was the worst part out of all of it. But now, we live and learn. It's not like anyone's going to be an expert at this stuff and how to deal with public perception and public opinions and stuff like that. So it took me a minute, but we're moving forward.
Now, if I had told a 15-year-old Harry Jowsey that at 23, almost 24, in a month, yeah?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, wow.
I try to come prepared.
Damn.
But if I told a 15-year-old Harry Jowsey that at 23 he'd have the following that he does, the success that he does, be on a Netflix show, and I know a new one right now, what would he have said to me?
It would have just said, go fuck yourself. It's not happening. Because I legit was a very different path. I was a degenerate kid. I got kicked out of schools in Australia. I had to go to school in New Zealand. I was the worst. I was blowing up toilets. I had a fight club at my school. We had these things we call them towel fights. So we wrap towels around our hands and we beat the shit out of each other till the towels fall off, and that's a round done. And you do that until you guys have your beef squashed or someone's knocked out. So I was just like a little...
How old are you when you're doing that?
Like 15, 16, 17. 17 was the year I graduated. So yeah, it was wild. So I think I had a very like fuck you mentality. So I think a very different person, but I needed all this shit to happen to get to where I'm at, for sure.
Where did that, or why did you have that fuck you mentality?
I think it's the entertainment side of me. Like, I was always like the class clown. I was like, shit, I can make people laugh. I better like see if I can do some illegal shit by having a fucking fight club at my school and blowing up toilets and trying to make my friends laugh. So yeah.
What did you hope or think that your life would be when you were 23 or 24?
I don't even think I didn't even plan. I didn't have goals. I didn't manifest. I didn't do anything. My biggest thing is I saw my dad as like a success. I'm like, cool. My dad, his company did $2 million in a year. It was the biggest year yet. I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's a wild number. I want to be half as good as him. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to take over the family business. And I'm like, shit. And then this stuff happens. And I'm like, that's just not dreaming big enough. Like that for my small town, like that's awesome. And, and hats off to him. He worked very hard to get to where he's at. And it's really, really awesome. Very proud of him. But I come here or like I start dreaming bigger and I'm like, damn, it's just nowhere near where I need to be. And especially if you do it and then you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like, let's just scale it up now.
At what point did you realize like, oh, like I can do things that are bigger than what I ever thought I could do?
It only hit me recently, to be honest.
Like how long?
Probably like last week. Yeah, I'm not even kidding.
Really?
Because I spoke about it briefly before, but I have these orgone pyramids in my house, and I'm not sure if you know this crystal shit or not, whether you're into it or not. Shit happens when I have these around me. It's very bizarre. And I don't know if it's the power of thinking that they're working and then me working as well, or there's just like magic in the air. But I'm a huge manifester. I'm very into this shit. And I have this thing. And I know like if people aren't manifesting or they aren't talking about their goals or they aren't, trying to put shit in action to make it happen, it won't happen. But for me, I have these little orgone pyramids in my house that have like crystals in it. There's like weird, I'm not like sitting in my house going like, hey, yeah, like dancing around and shit. I just put them in there. I write my 5 goals and I put them underneath it. Bang. And then I have got like 3 in my kitchen. I just ordered this big fuck off one that's like this from this Brazilian guy who like puts your goals actually into the rocks. It's crazy. I went deep. Like I had a big late night, but I got these 4 in my kitchen. And every time me and my roommate come home, we have like a couple dollars, we'll put it underneath it. We're like, we'll double it, put it underneath the pyramid. One day I put 2 of my platinum Amexes and a gold Amex. And I was like, that's going to turn black. I was like, those are going to turn black.
There came the black card.
And the black card came. And I was like, this is fucking crazy. I was like, I'm not dreaming big enough. Like, I don't know what's going on. What the fuck is going on? And then my roommate was some crazy shit happened with him, and it happened within a month. And we're just like, we're not dreaming big enough. We just have to take it a step further because we have our goals that is on a whiteboard in the kitchen right beside all this shit. So you see it every day. It's like subconsciously planted at the back of your head that that's what you're working towards. And it like all this shit starts happening. I'm like, fuck, damn, like I need to just step it up. Like I just really need to think of something obscure. Like maybe I want to be the first Australian on Mars. Maybe I need to write some shit like that because who knows, I might end up on the moon.
I believe you could. No? Why not? Why not?
I actually feel like that could definitely happen. I've got a connection for like what's his name? Is it Richard Branson or Russell Branson? I can't say his name. Richard Branson. I'm actually going to invite it to go to like Necker Island with them or something. So that would actually be, that's actually possible. I got to put it on the board.
Have you taken a second though to appreciate the success that you've had at least so far?
Every time I'm sad, every time I'm down, every time I'm like, oh shit, because I think with reality stars and reality TV is we have a month where we're very hot. The show goes up, followers go up, everything's crazy, and then probably for a year after that, everything like dwindles off. And now it's at a year, so everyone's like followers are starting to drop off, everyone's losing followers, everything's like very slowed down. But I've worked hard to keep things moving. But I've had a couple of moments where I'm like, oh shit, like I'm posting this many times, and on Instagram followers are going down, and I'm like, damn, like bro, I started with 100,000 followers, I still have 3.6 million on Instagram, but TikTok's pumping, YouTube's pumping, everything else is pumping. I was like, you just need to relax, stop worrying about it. One platform is stagnant, the other ones are growing like crazy. You just have to keep putting passion into what you do, and people will still enjoy it.
Now, as someone who's in that scene, how much does those numbers, those follower counts, those views, how much does that matter to you?
I think initially it was like, wow, this is great, because your dopamine's just fucking flying through the roof. You're like, damn, this is crazy. Shit's blowing up. Like, the day I hit 1 million followers is the day I hit 2 million followers.
Wow.
It was insane. The show was going nuts. I remember my friends come over. We had all these balloons, said, congrats on 1 million followers. I was like, wow. And then at night, it's like 10 o'clock, and I refreshed it, it's 2 million followers. And I had to have a Xanax because I was melting. My brain was in overdrive. Like, I was red. I was sweating. I was like, I don't know how to deal with what's going on. Like, this doesn't seem real. All this shit doesn't seem real whatsoever. So initially, it was like, cool. Like, it's a numbers game. Let's bump it up. But now I'm like, no, it's actually about being an influencer, as weird as that sounds, but entertaining, like putting content out that is going to make someone feel better about themselves instead of, cool, I'm being a narcissist, feed my ego. It just, my mentality completely switched. And I've noticed with a lot of my other like cast members and other people from reality TV stars, their whole mentality is like, what can you give to me? I'll do this brand deal back to back to back. Whereas I'm like, to my team, I'm like, hey, if I'm posting 2 brand deals in a row, I'm doing something wrong. I'm not here to push money and brands and stuff like that. I'm here to have a strong connection with my fan base and like really lock into them. If you notice, like for the first hour I post, I'm replying to every single comment I can. I'm sitting there just pumping through it. If it's a negative comment, I just ignore it, but pump through as many as possible because I want to have an intimate and close relationship with the people that invest their time into me. There's only one thing we get in this life that we'll never get back, and it's time. And if you give me your time, I'll try my best to give it back to you.
Do you ever feel like you have too much or a huge responsibility now that you have, a very loyal fan base and a lot of people that, look at you on a daily basis?
That's a good question. I feel that one really hasn't hit me yet whatsoever. Like, I still do whatever the fuck I want. I post raunchy shit. I'm like I posted a story the other day. I'm like, oh, maybe this isn't ideal for brand, but I'm like, whatever. Like, the story was like, oh, post for this date, 25th of December, which was Christmas. And I posted a story from that date where I had a video where I was saying, Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope someone ties you up like a Christmas pig and eats your ass. Shit like that. I'm like, you know what? This probably shouldn't go out, but I'm like, nah, it's me. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, I'm not really worrying about anything. I haven't really had someone go, hey, you influenced me to do this. Haven't had that yet, but I feel like they'll probably like hit me at some point. I'm like, fuck, I'm sorry.
Do you think that some of the and I honestly think that, when you look at the TikTokers, the influencers, there's a lot, I mean, you probably know way better than I do, that there's a lot of fakeness. And
for sure.
But I think that one of the reasons why people like you, and really one of the things that I respect about you, is through this, catapulted fame and success, you've stayed yourself. Do you think that that's, just thinking right now, do you think being Australian, being from where you are, maybe the way you were brought up, plays into that, and not being one of those people that grew up in the States or in LA or around that?
I think it's the people I have around me. Like, I have business people around me. I'm not with influencers. I'm not with people that are gonna feed my ego or anything like that. I personally feel like I have just scratched the surface. There's people a million times bigger than me, and I feel like that even though I've achieved a lot, I'm still very like small scale, and I don't really give myself a pat on the back or like sit down, because I don't want to feed into that. I don't want to sit down and be like, oh yeah, I'm this shit. Like, go back to my hometown, like, oh fuck. Like, I still like FaceTime my boys back home, and I'm like, oh, your teeth look fucking shit, and they'll abuse me, like, oh, you get like wrinkles on your eye. Like, it's just a very like, my friend group is as real as it gets. They're real people. Everyone does real jobs and has real business and has real life stress. Whereas LA is a fantasy land filled with people that are trying to put on a facade and like trying to get in this room with this person and that person. Like, that's why I feel like I have a lot of very high profile friends and people who want to hang out with me, because I don't care about this stuff. Like, I don't give a fuck who you are. If you're a shit person, if you come up to me with some sort of attitude or whatever, if I see you out and you can feel your energies off, no one's gonna fuck with you. Like, people have very good gut instincts, and they will tell right away if your shit is not where it should be. So, yeah. We
ran into Alex Cooper on the way out. I think she was recording before with Jowsey Canseco.
No way. Oh, that's no.
You could have dropped the number.
No way. You should have filmed with Jowsey. Oh, shit.
Should have been here 10 minutes earlier.
I hope she didn't blast Logan. Fuck. Damn it.
But she said, and Alex Cooper actually really nice.
She's great.
She really is. She was saying, I asked her jokingly, like, is there something I should ask Harry that you didn't get to ask him on both editions of Call Her Daddy?
Yeah.
She said something with regards to, are you thinking about moving back to Australia?
No, I want to retire there.
You want to retire in Australia?
Yeah. I want to do like what Chris and Liam Hemsworth did. Come out here, blow shit up, make their millions, and get their wife, move back to Byron Bay in Australia.
How do you personally measure your success? Is it financial? Is it follower count?
That's a tough question, because I feel like no matter where you are, the goalposts will always move. No matter who you are. Like, I remember when I was back in Australia, and I'm like, man, if I can make $1,000 a week, like, that's perfect. $52K a year, like, that's crazy. That's awesome money. And then like now, I'd be like, I won't even entertain it if it's under six figures. So I just feel, and now I feel like I don't have any sort of success. I'm like, I still feel like I'm where I was when I was like 17, 18, but I'm just like have a little bit more clued on about it. So I don't know. I feel like the goalpost is always going to move, but I think that's ideal, because that keeps the fire alive and that keeps the train moving forward. Whereas a lot of people in this space will get, make their $1 million and then get complacent and then dwindle off. They won't post anymore. They'll fuck around, and then like it's just a weird industry.
Would you say that you're equally as happy now as you were maybe when you thought that $1,000 would be the dream?
I think that's tough as well, because I think I'm definitely equally as happy, but more. There's a lot more stress and like things to worry about now. Whereas before I was kind of like carefree, didn't really care about much, just get fucked up with the boys, have a good time. Whereas now I have to like be a little bit more cautious with what I put in my body, where I go, who I be seen with, like what happens, stuff like that. So I think I'm definitely still like equally as happy, but a little bit more in my own head. Like I think about shit a lot more. Whereas when I was younger back in Australia, didn't think about shit. Just fucked around and didn't really care.
What do you do when you? Because you mentioned it before we went live that you think a lot, or you're maybe an overthinker.
Yeah.
What's your go-to when you catch yourself overthinking? Like, oh fuck, Harry, like don't think that or think this.
I self-reflect. Like that's my biggest thing. Like after this, I'll go home and I'll be thinking like. Unintentionally, I'll just be thinking about what's going on, how I can be better, or how I could have done it to make people laugh more and stuff like that. When I start overthinking things, I really just really pull myself up and try and look for the silver lining. I'm like, okay, maybe it means this other thing, or maybe it means this thing, or maybe I should be grateful that happened and not stress too much because it's not going to benefit anyone in the long run. And also, like, overthinking is just like you're just setting yourself up to get anxious and like worried about stuff that actually probably isn't going on or isn't happening. So yeah, just think about it like that.
Is there one or two people, or maybe more, that you go to when you catch yourself either overthinking or maybe you're in a worse place than usual?
Well, I always call my best friend, he's my manager, Jeff Duncan. He's a very successful businessman. He's been around, he's been dragged through the mud many times, but he's essentially my first port of call, and then it's my mum. But I don't like to stress my mum out too much because I'm in a different country. She doesn't really get to see me much, so if I tell her anything, she'll fucking have a meltdown, and I can't risk her losing the plot because she'll drink way too much wine, and then I have to deal with that. Yeah.
What's it been like for your family to see you, on this on this meteoric rise?
Well, I don't think it's really hit anyone.
Really?
Like my mum, I knew it hit my mum when I made it in the local newspaper, and I was in that newspaper in Australia, like the front cover. They said top 50 reality stars that have made it, and I was number one. I was like, damn, this is crazy. I was very thankful. My mum was absolutely pissing her pants. She was so excited. Like I've never seen her so excited and so proud. I was like, Mum, it's a little bit bigger than
You're a mama's boy, aren't you?
Yeah, that's my girl. Yeah. But I was like, it's a little bit bigger than Australia. Like, it's just tiny. There's a lot more that's happened. Like, just Google it, please. But that gets me excited when she's excited about that stuff. So it hasn't really hit my family. I've had, like, I've got half-sisters, and they've popped up time to time. My brother tried to. But it's just a very dysfunctional family regardless. So I just kind of keep to myself about a lot of stuff that goes on. I just tell my mom everything that happens. So yeah.
Was there ever any fear when you were on Too Hot to Handle that, oh, fuck, my mom's going to see this, or certain people are going to see it, or no?
I'm going to be honest. The first time I ever did cocaine, I called my mom and I told her exactly what was going on.
Then you're good.
Yeah, she said, go on and fuck everyone, Harry. And I was like, Mom. And she's like, even the ugly ones, just do it. And I was like, Mom, I can't. Like, please. Let's relax. But yeah, when I was 18 and I was in Spain, I called her and I was like, Mom, I don't know what to do. So we have a very close relationship. I tell her everything. Yeah.
Was there ever any hesitation in doing Too Hot to Handle?
Never. There was no, there wasn't. As soon as I knew it was for Netflix and what was going to happen, I was like, cool, there's no bone in my body that would ever turn down Netflix. Opportunity big or small, I would never turn them down. So I was like, you know what? They kind of found me. So I was like, fuck it, that's a blessing.
What did you think the success would be like post doing that show? Did it match what it is now?
I had like pretty crazy ideas, but it was the first ever, one of the first ever reality TV shows. So it was very hard to gauge. It was very hard to like figure it out, especially being on the show and not knowing what scene's going to get put in and stuff like that. And I think that's the biggest issue with reality TV is when you're on a show like that, it's the craziest month of your life. You have to leave. You have to pretend you forget about it. But once the promo starts, you're looking for every fucking clue that there is. Like, I remember when excuse me, I just burped my mouth. I remember when it was on Netflix and we saw the poster and you could see some people and some people were hidden. Everyone's like scouring it, like, oh my God, there's my foot, like posting on their close friends, like circle, like, oh my God, this is crazy. Blah, blah, that's me. Everyone's like searching for that like validation and stuff like that. It's one of the most nuts times when you're waiting for a show to come out because you've told all your friends about it. You're excited. This is a life-changing opportunity. We had no idea it was going to be anywhere near as big as what it was. Wow. We got told it was going to be in December before the new year, so it was going to come out a lot quicker. I'm like, oh, cool, that's going to be great. But it come out in the middle of fucking quarantine. It couldn't have been better for anyone. No
one had anything to do.
It was legit like one of the biggest blessings, and I'm sorry to say that COVID's a blessing, but it was for the show. Obviously, I'm sorry for anyone who's had losses and stuff, and I don't want to mean it in a way to upset anyone, but for the show, the fact that everyone was home and, locked in, and watching this, and most importantly, laughing at us because we're idiots.
What do you think is the biggest misconception about reality TV?
Everyone thinks it's like scripted and like, okay, like this is what goes on. They literally put us in a house. There's 64 plus cameras around. There's microphones. There's cameras in the showers everywhere. Well, not in the showers, but like outside of it, but everywhere. And people are like, oh no, it's definitely like scripted. Like Harry thought about saying that. It's like, no, I went in hot and heavy, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking do what I can to make it a good show.
Now, for the people out there listening that haven't watched it, I think so how does it work exactly with regards to if you do something sexual? It's like there are different tiers of like money that you're docked, correct?
Yeah. I'll put it in like simple terms. So there's like 10 people, they're all horny, they're all drunk, and everyone has like big egos and pretty much wants to fuck each other. We get put on this island and we get told, hey, you're young, you're horny, you've had sex with way too many people. Let's slow that process down. Let's give you a chance to build a deeper connection and something that actually makes sense. So there's no fucking, there's no kissing, you can't beat yourself off in the shower, can't do anything, so you lose money. Like a kiss is like $3,000, hand job and blow job is like 6, sex is like 20. So.
Now what happened? Now if you go straight to like sex, are the rest all encompassing?
No, I don't think so. No, I think actually no, because it was. I was just thinking about the night that me and Francesca went crazy. Yeah, that was a long night. That was awesome.
You had to probably get everything that you wanted.
Everything, yeah. Like it was.
Were you thinking about the money in the back of your mind?
Nah, I was like everyone's gonna be so angry, and I'm having a great time. I was like, we're having so much fun in this room. Everyone's gonna be pissed.
Would you do if they had a Too Hot to Handle season 2?
It is. It's coming out.
When is it coming out?
June, I believe. Yeah, and then there's 2 and 3 coming. Yeah, it's crazy.
Are you excited for that?
I'm hyped. Here's the weirdest thing that I don't get. I don't get why other reality TV stars get jealous. Like it's not about you sausage. Get out of your head. Like a lot of these people that I'm friends with, like, oh my god, the next season's going. How do you feel? I'm like, I'm fucking hyped. What the fuck are you talking about? We get another season. Like we're not in it, but like the fact that Netflix believed in us and believed in what we created so much to do another season, like that's a success. I don't know why people get like jealous or like scared that it's like with money. People are like freaked out that there's only like a certain amount of money in this world. There's so much money to be made for everyone. Same with like the fame and whatever you want to do. Like there's so many opportunities to be big. Like there's hundreds of successful people and internet stars and like reality stars. Like that's why I don't get why people are so fucking worried about it. But I'm like, look, we're on Netflix. The second season, the third season comes out. It still says season 1. We haven't gone anywhere. Like Love Island, you disappear. Like you're on one year, you go on the next. But we're still there. Like we're not going anywhere. Why are you worried? Like they bring out more seasons. We keep going. Like it's great. So yeah.
Now speaking of money, I'm also curious. Because we talked about it a little bit earlier before, but. When you're making X dollars and then you have a huge hit and you start seeing new money or big money that you never thought.
For sure.
For you, is that obviously it's exciting, but does that ever get overwhelming, or does that the idea? Because also then you get a little taste of more, then you want even more. What's that process been like for you? Because it's probably been pretty quick, I imagine.
Yeah, I think the first month we did when the show aired, just on merch sales from a store that I created, I was like, fuck, I need to do something. I created a store, did it. I think we did like 60 G's in the first month. It could have been way better. But because I built the website, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I was like, I just need something.
You made it yourself?
Yeah, and I designed it. I did everything. I was like, I need to have something. It was legit print on demand. Fucking max those fuckers out. I had to change my card over so many times because it just kept
so fun.
It was crazy. I'd wake up in the morning, there'd be like a couple $1,000 there. I'm like, this is crazy. People going mental for this shit. And I could have done it 100 times better. But seeing all that come in and it was really exciting, but also my biggest thing is I'm very blessed that I have Jeff. So Jeff, again, my best friend, manager, very successful guy. My issue is with people my age, like I see all this money coming, I'm like, sick, like I can get a new watch, I could do this, I could do that. Whereas he's like, let's think long term, like let's be strategic. Like you actually don't need to have another car. Like I was like, today, I'm like, I'm gonna go get a Lambo. He's like, you don't need that. Why do you need that? And I'm like, well, because I want to have it on the weekends. He's like, oh, you want to spend X amount of dollars just to have a car on the weekends.
What are you whipping in right now?
I have a Mercedes AMG. Like it's sick. Like it's 2020 model. It's sick as fuck. And I just got it murdered. It looks great. But I'm very blessed with him because I just won't spend, and I also have like great accountants, but I just won't spend money that I don't need to. And I spend like not much money at all because now I'm not drinking. I'm not going out. I'm really like just really focused on like business and stuff like that. I just don't look at it as my money. Like I'm a company and I get a salary. So I just like, that's not mine. I'm not going to touch it. If I need to talk to someone about it, I'm like, cool, we'll go through. But also like, we also owe like a fuck ton of money in taxes. So I'm just going to wait till that hits before I start.
Taxes hit different when you're making your money now.
Yeah, before I start buying like bus towns and shit. I was like, oh, fuck.
Is there one big indulgence that you've been able to have?
Yeah, I bought my best friend a really, really, really nice watch. Yeah, that was cool. It was really good.
A cool moment.
Yeah, it was a cool feeling to like buy him a Rolex before I got myself one, because that's my thing. Is I was gonna buy an AP that was like iced out and crazy, and I was like sick. My friend was like, "Yeah, buy it off me. I'll give it to you for a couple of days." I wore it. I was like for 24 hours. It was sick, and then I was like, "Fuck." Like, really? Like I'm turning into that guy? Like, cool. I was like, this isn't money that's gonna like, this isn't gonna go up in price. It's just gonna go down. Like, and I want to sell it in a month because I'm bored of it and I want something else flashy. So I kind of just took a step back. I was like, I bought myself a Cartier bracelet, and I'm like, this shit's uncomfortable. It sucks. I'm worried about scratching it. I'm like, this is just stupid. I just put it away. I don't care. So yeah, it was really a really good feeling to number one, buy myself a car, especially a car of the spec that I have, and then get my best friend the Rolex. But now I'm planning putting a fair bit of money into a birthday trip for me to just fly all my friends, like maybe on a jet down to Mexico or something, and just have like a crazy weekend. Yeah, I'm excited.
You got to tell them to put their phones away.
Yeah, I'm hyped because my biggest thing is, it's great to earn all this money and like do this shit, like, and I'm not saying I'm super successful in any way, but it's really good to do all this shit. But it's also even better when you can give it back. Mm-hmm. Like when you can look at someone in your team that isn't doing as well, and you can just send them money and just not worry about it. So I'm very blessed. Like even one of my best friends, whenever he's like, oh, I want to, like, I always get his Ubers. Whenever I'm bored, I just send him money. I'm just like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm chilling. I was like, here's $500. And then my other friend back in New Zealand, I think that was one of the craziest things, is I didn't realize that like I'm very privileged to be where I'm at. And the fact that I could just send him a couple grand because I'm bored. And he sent me a video of him back crying. And he's like 30 years old. He's like, man, you have no idea how much that means to me and what you're doing. I'm like, shit, like the purpose of this shit isn't for me. Like I'm not doing any of this for me. Like I'm doing it so I can make people around me like so happy and taken care of. Like that's my goal. My mom is, once I land this big deal that we're trying to go for, once I land that, I'll go home, get her a house and just be like, look, anything you need, I'm here. And I told her, it was a really good feeling when she's like, I want to come to the States. I was like, trust me, Mom. She's like, oh, just tell me when to book flights. I was like, trust me, you're never flying coach ever again. You're first class wherever you go, and you're not paying for a fucking single thing. That was one of the coolest feelings.
Well, and I think, I mean, I've been talking to you for like, about half hour now.
Yeah.
And I think it's, in listening to a bunch of your interviews in preparations for this, you could tell that, I think some people want to portray you as this mega douchebag.
For sure. I am, by the way.
Well, no, but, and like every,
don't kiss my bum. Come on.
I'm not gonna kiss your ass. But like you can be, or like any guy can be, they can be mega douches. But I do genuinely think, I've talked to a lot of successful people. Yeah. You can tell who has that big heart and who doesn't. And again, not to kiss your ass, like you genuinely feel like you care about the people that you care about.
I appreciate it.
About, you know what I mean? And I think that's important. And I think it's important for young influencers and young people that are successful to
Yeah.
see someone like you give back to your family, or like that the recent, I think it was like a TikTok or something that you did.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Where you helped a young girl with her dreams, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what it's all about, and I feel
That's
like
it, yeah.
the fact that you're understanding that now is important.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
I surround myself with people that aren't selfish, or they'll do anything they can to help you get ahead. So I have that mentality instilled in me, and then being around those people, then being given the opportunities I have, I'm like, you know what, like it's a very sad and lonely life when you only do shit for yourself. I know this one of these guys I used to hang out with. I've walked into Dior with him, and he's dropped 30 racks on shit for himself to just flex. And he has no friends.
Yeah.
None of his friends that I've met him with and that used to go to his house every day, no one hangs out with him because this dude is so self-entitled. And I've never met anyone, with that much success and dollars in the bank that is like, he would tell us, I'm the most handsome man in the world. And he'd be like to me, Harry, I would beat you in a fight. Like, you have no chance. This guy's 5'5". I was like, look, if you step up to me, I will break your fucking nose. Like, I won't even have to flinch. Like, I'll headbutt you right now. And it was crazy for me to be surrounded by someone like that. And I'm like, oh, maybe this is how we get success. Maybe this is how we feel good. This dude's so lonely. He sucks. He's a miserable little man he's balding. And then I meet people who are like, that have legitimate success and are happy and are doing good things. And they're only happy because they're just making everyone around them happy. Like, they're glowing. They're a little lamp. And everyone just wants to be around that person. So, yeah.
And I mean, I bet that you probably, better than anyone, have seen kind of what living in LA can be like with those people. Do you feel like the majority of the people that you've met, like the influencer types, the famous types, have been like the person you're describing, or for the most part been pretty good?
I think the successful ones are always like, okay, you meet Charli D'Amelio, you meet Dixie, you meet Chase Hudson, you meet Justin Bieber. Those people are the nicest people you'll ever meet. The successful people in this space, the successful people in any space are great people, are really nice. I found that being like, I just look at them and every time I see, like, even Addison, we're neighbors. Every time I see her, she's like, hi Harry, will give me a hug. And I'm a little bit like shy and get a little bit cold because sometimes I just don't know if it's her or not. And she always will like run up, give me a hug. Very sweetest person. She has no reason, like, these people have no reason to be so nice to me, but they are. Like, they're not, they're not getting anything out of me, like anything like that, but they're just great people, and they're vibrant for everyone around them. So I think that true success is when you're a happy person.
Well, I think when you're comfortable with yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, my question to you is, for you, the Harry Jowsey name and brand is growing.
Yeah.
How do you continue to grow and keep that momentum and grow your brand in general?
I think my motives have kind of changed a little bit, and where I was obsessed, again, I said before, like, obsessed with numbers on a screen and doing shit like that. Now my motives are, how do I entertain people? How do I make people happy? How do I go? My goal is to follow Ashton Kutcher. Like, that dude killed, like, the perfect life path, right? He did his thing, went on shows, acted, was in movies, and now he's just a very, very smart businessman, makes very smart decisions, and he's got his fingers in a lot of pies. I'm like, okay, well, in all honesty, like, that's the guy. Like, that's the guy right there. And it just, for me, it's just to follow the blueprint that's already been done and make people happy and try not to, be a toxic piece of shit and have bad breakups.
Are we going to avoid the toxic piece of shit bad breakups?
I can't help myself. I know they're making someone laugh out there, so
now,
maybe it's about entertainment.
Now, speaking of,
yes,
the one thing that we wanted to do that I'm excited about,
yes,
is, so for people listening out there, there's this new social network, decentralized social network called BitClout. Now, I had seen that you were on it. I have been on it. I think I was really one of the, I've been on it for a couple months now. And I know some of the big people in the space, so I've talked a lot about it. I've learned a lot about it. I saw you were on it.
Yes.
So I wanted to do something, kind of integrate when I was with you, invest in your BitClout live, which is fun.
Crazy.
Right?
It's a good time to do it as well.
It's a good time to do it because it's a nice little dip.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do that real quick.
Damn.
But you know what? Do you have access to your BitClout on your phone?
Yeah.
Go on your phone right now.
I actually had a meeting with a guy about this yesterday.
Really? Now, one of the cool things, so I guess we should also make it a little bit educational for the people so they understand more what BitClout is or what it could be.
Yeah.
BitClout, for people who are...
shit.
What? It's down, yeah?
No, my last browser open.
Oh.
Not good. What was I watching?
Good thing the volume didn't play.
Oh, shit. That's great. Okay.
It was bad?
Yeah, that was a big evening. I was into some weird shit.
Do you want to share with the world or no?
Nah. You guys don't want to hear about what I do behind closed doors. Is it down? It is down.
It's real down, but don't worry. Just watch.
Hold on. Let me sign in.
Fuck, how's this work? So let's make it a quick educational, so for people out there that can learn a little bit about what BitClout is or can be. BitClout is, or their hopes for BitClout is that it will become kind of a decentralized social network that, unlike the stock market where you invest in companies, obviously, you can invest now in people. So everyone that's on the platform can have their own creator coin of sorts.
That's
so
crazy.
I have my coin, Harry has his coin. Anybody can go on there and create their own coin and have people invest in them. And one of the things I think is really cool is some of the perks that people can have as being investors, right? So I don't know what some of the things that you're thinking of doing for, say your top 10 or top 20 investors, but I think that the opportunities are endless. Are you on it right now?
Yeah.
It's down, yeah?
Hold on, what is going on? Yeah, so...
Now, wait, hold on.
I actually had a crazy meeting with this dude. You know Reed?
Reed who?
I don't know his last name, but he's the second biggest investor in creator coins. He put in $4.5 million. Woo. 22 from New York.
Motherfucker.
Crazy shit. I sat down with him and we're talking about this stuff. So now's a really good time because he was like, I'm going to invest. I was like, hold up, wait, what are we doing?
So
he's pushing the button.
You ready for it?
Oh, shit.
Go on what you, because you have,
I have it.
Go to your wallet.
Okay. How does this work? Because I think I spent all my money on this.
Once I invest in you, better start pushing this shit.
Yeah, I have to. Oh, that's why I had
your shit's gonna go up. My shit's gonna. Everyone's gonna go up. They invest.
I had that was the thing with this meeting with this dude. He was telling me he's like, you need to not sleep on this opportunity. We're gonna help you manage it and grow this shit. So really good. I think he's gonna put 50 G's in. So you yeah on Monday. So you're good. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
What's his name? Shout out to Reed. Put 100 while you're at it.
Yeah, please.
Now wait. Go. Whatever your wallet's at.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait. Watch this.
I spent all my Bitcoin. Because I don't know too much about crypto, but I put
watch this.
Okay, hold on. He's doing it. Do we need the camera?
Cool.
Oh, success.
Now wait. Go to yours.
Yeah, okay.
Now refresh yours.
Tap anywhere to unlock your wallet.
Go to your wallet.
Nothing.
Go to your
Disappeared.
wallet.
Vanished.
It went down.
Yeah. It's gone actually crazy.
It should have gone.
You just tanked my coin.
I wasn't buying, I was selling.
This is crazy.
Hit your wallet though. It should refresh shortly.
Are you gonna do this in every podcast? Because it's gonna be an expensive process for you.
No. Well, so luckily, we can talk about it after.
I was gonna say it's a very expensive process.
No.
Fuck me, man.
So I could talk about this publicly. Do you know Evan Luther? Have you heard of this guy?
No.
Well, I'm plugging the shit out of him too. I had him on my show. He's like this very big. He's big in the crypto space. I want to see this refresh live.
Come on. Yeah, go.
Because now it's at like 12. It should be at like 1200 something. So yours.
We'll wait for it. But yeah, what did you say?
Oh yeah, I think actually on the creators it takes a minute to reload.
Yeah.
But you're a big shareholder of your own.
Big time.
Boom. But what I think is really cool about Evan Luther actually, he's big in he's this Indian influencer who's huge in the crypto space. Actually, we'll talk about this off here too. He's with a group of huge investors, and they've been investing in a ton of huge profiles. Wow. And I mean, it's crazy. I think what the opportunity can be with the platform. And I think that for someone like you, and hopefully that episodes like this, where people get educated on how it could work, I think is interesting because, if someone, like for example, if someone really wanted to have a one-on-one meeting with you, right?
Yeah.
If you said, oh, my top 10 investors or my top 20, they get a monthly one-on-one meeting with me. That all of a sudden creates value, right? I don't know if there's things that you've thought of maybe of doing that could entice people to want to invest in you.
Yeah, I was actually going to sell my dick pics to them.
Really?
Yeah. So
Nice.
now you're on the list. Yeah. Check your inbox.
Check your snap.
No, so I had a meeting with this guy about this stuff because I said, hey, like, I don't know, and he's high level investor.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know too much about it. I'm trying to learn because it's obviously going to be a very, very valuable space in the next couple of months, especially when people can start pulling money out and when people can start, it's a little bit more fluid because right now it's a little bit glitchy because it's still the beta stage. Yeah.
Terrible.
So I was like, how do I maximize it? He's like, you need to be posting once a day and all this shit. So they're going to help me like really, really pump it up. And because I don't know, I'm like, oh, guys get excited. They'll tell you about what's happening in the next couple of months. I can't because I'm in an NDA, but I'm like, fuck, like what? Yeah, I need to figure out a plan. So I'm excited for have that. So come next week by Monday, we'll have a plan. Your coin will
My
quad.
shit will go. Go to your.
I think it was $1,000 a coin. Okay,
so on that it doesn't. I don't think it updates, right?
No. Oh, people are messaging me. What the fuck is this?
They're sliding in your DMs.
Yeah. Hey there, I just wanted to announce. I don't know what you're doing. How do they get in? Is there a request?
I don't know how it works.
All right, what do I do? Profile?
Go to your profile. Go to your.
Damn, the coin just went up. Crazy.
Yeah. So what is that?
Oh, you're the top.
I'm top. I'm right under you, right?
Yeah, look at you.
There we go. I'm top 5 there.
Damn, look at
Boom.
you.
Let's go.
Wow.
Hey, tell your read.
Thank you so much. Let's go. Yeah.
No, but it'll be. I think it's a really cool platform. I think people need to understand the risks. Because obviously.
Oh, you just got really serious.
No, but because you want people to be smart.
Yeah.
It's a new platform.
Yeah.
As you said, it's pretty glitchy. It's in beta. You still can't withdraw. You can buy and sell, but you cannot withdraw. I mean, there's actually different ways you can, but you get it at like a huge discounted price. And I'll talk to you about some stuff off here actually with some big investors that we could throw your way as well. But I think it's really cool because I think now it gives people the opportunity to invest in people. And I personally just love that concept in general. I like the concept that you can buy your creator coin, I can buy mine.
Yeah, let me throw a curveball in here. This is what I'm worried about.
Okay.
Manufactured canceling. Have you thought about this?
No.
Because I could go to you, fuck, Felix is really hot right now. I want to get his coin because I know he's got a show coming out in a month, 2 months. I'm going to put 10 G's into creating terrible articles, going on Reddit, saying that he got drunk and like hit someone with his car. And
so much better.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm playing.
Some crazy shit. And your coin can tank because people are like, fuck this.
But don't you
I don't want anything to do with this.
If in that case, it would be deserved.
But
if I molested someone or killed someone.
No, but it's like manufactured canceling. So I could go and tank your coin, and then in a month, knowing that that you have a great PR team, that you're going to bounce back. Like especially if I'm your friend and I know the ins and outs, and I could seriously fucking be a little snake and then make my money on you when the new show comes out or when you. When you clear it up. Like I just think that that's a very dangerous game because now it's going to need the news is already not credible enough. So now we're going to need like some serious people like. With like a hand in the phone, like, hey, I'm with the guy.
I agree. That is it's an interesting point. I think that's definitely. I think that's a fear in general. Honestly, manufactured canceling in general. I think is a fear on everyone's mind. But I think another one of the fears is the fact that it's so volatile, right? Like tomorrow, if you sold your own coin, boom, crushes it because you're a huge shareholder. The same way that if that it would happen on any other thing where if one big investor pulls out, it really fucks everybody else. Yeah. So that's another risk of the platform. But in general, I do think that it's a cool concept that like you can invest in yourself, right? Yeah. And I can invest in myself. Yeah. And that I can invest in you, and and that hopefully and it's also I think has a lot to do with social media and if people could figure out how to get to BitClout and you did a swipe up feature every day, right? I'm sure it would go crazy, but people still haven't figured it out. So I think it's we'll see where it goes. Yeah,
I think it's interesting. It's definitely a long term play though. It's not like if you're listening to this and you've got like $1,000, you're like, cool, I want to do it, and then pull it out tomorrow. It's not that type of situation. It's not that type of investment. It's like, okay, I'm comfortable. I have 1 to 5 G's that I want to invest and like throw it around. I like this creator. I feel like they're going to keep moving forward. My issue is like it's very. I just couldn't imagine being like the everyday guy, but not knowing like what's going on behind the scenes. Like there's a lot of people that appear successful. So maybe there might be lawsuits in this shit because it could be like fraudulent, because there could be people that are like, oh my God, I've got $10 million in my bank account, I'm about to go platinum, and this shit doesn't, that flops. You know, there could be some issues where, you know, big shareholders like fuck over the creator, but I don't know, maybe I'm just manifesting bad juju for it.
You gotta write good things in the manifestation.
Yeah, but I just think if you are listening, just make sure that you're investing money that you're comfortable with not touching for like 6 months, because it's not a right now thing. 100%. It's like super early before this shit goes public. If you are lucky enough to be on the platform, it's very early stages. So if you have any money, put it into it, because it will go up. Not financial advice.
Not financial advice.
I had to
ever. You always have to do that, or else you'll catch lawsuits. Now, speaking of canceling, are you? I mean, now that you're in the public eye, is there ever a fear of you know, lies that would really threaten your career? Because I haven't had that level of, at least in the public eye, that you have. But you know, I think for everyone, I think it's a fear of, you know, what happens if someone lies? What happens if this happens or that happens, and there's no way around to tell the truth? I
think with every situation, it's very hard, especially like dating and like trying to get to know people, because I sometimes forget like how many eyes are on me and people who look for me or whatever. So I'll just see someone and be just myself and like normal, and not really care about what I say, or if we got deals online or shit like that, I'll be like, whatever, like I don't really care. But it is boring, and I'm at a stage now where my entire team, like if anyone comes over to my house, they have to sign an NDA. Really? It has to like take a photo of their face. If I'm about to hook up with someone, there's a sexual consent form that says, like, my lawyer went into great detail, because we're just not going to take those risks. Like we can't have, you know, even if it's someone, you know, like coming over, hanging out, snapping a photo of me in bed, like asleep, or like trying to make up a story that I did something that I didn't do. So like, you know, we're not gonna take risks like that. I feel like I've definitely been very like drunk and reckless at parties. So like when the show first started popping off, like just not giving a fuck, like spraying champagne bottles inside and just being a dick and like a degenerate. So I think now it's like taking a bit of a moment to like step back and mature. It's made me mature a lot very quick.
Does it kind of suck in a way that, you know, when you're, I mean, hooking up with someone is one thing, but trying to find like, you know, actual like romantic love, that, you know, you still, I mean, the people that you're going to be with still have to go through maybe signing an NDA or a consent form, or, you know, because I feel like that also can, it can kind of, for lack of a better word, not kill the vibe, but like, you know, if you're about to hook up with someone, you're like, wait, hold on, sign this. Even if it's maybe not exactly like that, it's still an added layer to your personal life. Yeah,
for sure. I think that it's just like one of those things that you kind of have to do. Yeah. Like you have to make sure that like that's done, even though it's like awkward, but it's like a one-time thing where it's like awkward, and then after that, like everything's fine. But it's very interesting. Like I've been in, you know, situations where I've been very close with a girl. Like very recently, we were seeing each other for a while. She's like, "Oh, why don't you post with me? You never post with me." I was like, "Because it's not about that. It's not like I'm trying to withhold opportunity. If you're my girl, I want to put you on, absolutely. But it's like, when you feel like the intentions aren't right or pure is when I start questioning shit. It's like, well, I give you my day in, day out, and if that's not good enough, if you want followers from me, then you're not the person that I want to spend time with.
Boom. And where do you see yourself 5-10 years down the line?
This is good. I love this shit. So goal is to be in a movie with Will Ferrell. I don't care if I'm it's so random.
That would be fun.
It'd be hilarious. I just feel like that guy's like very awkward and funny and hilarious. I want to have my own Netflix series. I don't want it to be like one series. I want it to be like, yo, this shit's good, like punked, you know? Yeah. I want people to tune in and be like, shit, like, just if you're a sick day from school, shit you watch. I want to have 4 multi-million-dollar businesses. Maybe my goal is to have one that's $1 billion business. I feel like it's achievable because I've got friends that have done it. If it's real, it's achievable. It's my goal. Is my saying. Have that. I want to be on cover of Men's Health, GQ, but I'm trying to do that this year. That's my thing. That's why I'm so sober, and I'm trying to like focus in and like lock that in because I feel like that would be a crazy opportunity. And then I want to be a positive impact. That's just my thing. It's like I really want to be a positive impact. Whether it's making people laugh, whether it's helping clean up the oceans, or whether it's just making someone's day a little bit better.
What do you think is the biggest misconception about you?
That I'm a narcissist. Yeah, people just think because it's, you know, reality TV, the narcissistic, dumb, drunk idiot who doesn't really give a fuck about anything and just wants to have a good time. Whereas realistically, like, there's just so many. It's like I'm like an onion. I think a lot of these people are like we're all onions. So many more layers.
And I think once you sit down with some of these people that you think aren't, you just realize that they're all, just kind of like you.
Yeah, very, very crazy. And then there's also like some people you sit down and you're like, fuck, there's just not a lot behind those eyes.
No.
It's just empty brain. I don't know how you got this place to where you're at, but crazy. There's just some people like that. You're just like, fuck me, man.
Now, well, actually, one last question before.
Yeah. And
Alana actually came up with it. Big into boxing.
Oh.
Where's this fighting? Where's that going?
In all honesty, I've been like behind closed doors. I've been training for a very long time because I grew up fighting. I grew up boxing for a couple of years when I was at high school, and I really do enjoy it. Like, it's a really fun way to release energy, get fit, and have a good time. And I found once I moved to LA, I kind of pulled myself away from that athletic style training. So regardless of anything, I just started boxing again to get the athleticism back and try and like tap into that a little bit more. But then I saw everyone's punching each other in the head for millions of dollars.
You should get in.
I'm like, sweet. How do I tap into this? And then, there was a bit of a public beef between me and Jake Paul that kept dragging on. And I'm like, shit, like maybe we can make some money off a breakup. Like, that would be kind of crazy.
I'm not all impressed with
Jake Paul. You're not impressed?
I mean, look, you got to give him credit.
Yeah, he's done well.
He's done well, as in like he's done what he's had to do.
Yeah.
Put him in with a professional boxer. It's a whole.
There's no chance.
There's no chance.
There's no chance. That's the thing is, because I ask my coach every day. I was like, yo, like, could I take this dude? And this guy's like one of the big dogs that is in Manny Pacquiao's corner. Like, Manny Pacquiao was coming
Freddie
back.
Roach?
His name is Justin Fortune.
Okay.
So he's like his strength and conditioning coach. So I train with him every single morning, without a doubt. And Manny's coming back to train with us. Like, we'll still be in his fight camp. But I asked him, I'm like, shit, can I take this kid? He's like, man, like, I don't think you get it. Like, as someone that's been in this thing, he's an amateur at best.
Oh, for sure.
He's overthrowing his shots. Like when he jabs, like his arm automatically comes down. He's got terrible footwork. And even Ben got him perfectly with a nice little hook, but then Ben's hands were out here.
Ben can't strike,
Yeah,
what I mean?
Ben
I've had a bunch of UFC fighters on the podcast. I've asked them what it would be like, if you have an amateur. I mean, it's not even. There's
no
close.
question.
It's not even close.
Yeah. So, I think Jake has manufactured. He's manufactured the whole situation very well in his favor, and it's very smart. And I think he's moving towards like Conor McGregor and making that happen, which, win or lose, is a huge W. So like, hats off to the kid. But our fight may be happening. It's 80% done, is what I got told. 80% there. So fingers crossed.
When you say our fight,
me and Jake.
It's 80%.
That's what I got told.
You could be next in line for it.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, he said that. From what I got told from the people that are working behind the scenes is Jake's 80% there. He's negotiating. He wants to do it. He wants to fight you. I'm like, that's great. I feel like it'd be good because here's the thing. I'm just like some pretty TikTok boy.
Right.
I was on reality TV that fucking cried and gets drunk and fucks. No one has no idea about what we've been working on or what I look like behind closed doors or who I've been sparring with or who I've been knocking out. No one has any idea. So for me, I'm like, you know what? It's an exciting opportunity because I get to come out and then if that happens, get a chance to shut him the fuck up because he's a little rat, but also, embarrass someone who's been talking shit and then come out and get some new eyes, new opportunity, and maybe fight someone else a little bit up the ranks later on.
And you've got size, you've got reach.
That's the issue. No one wants to fight me as well.
I mean, you're kind of you're 6'5" with probably big reach too.
It sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, there's probably not a lot.
But I get gassed easy, so fuck it. Yeah, that's the thing.
Well, bro, if they make that fight, you'll also be probably a big underdog, I think, just because.
For sure. That'd be great.
I'll put my money on you.
Yeah, I'll put my whole fucking purse on me.
What all right, assuming that it would happen.
Yeah.
Give me a final prediction. Say you're going 8 rounds, 3-minute rounds.
I wouldn't go past 3 for sure.
So you're finishing Jake inside 3.
Easy. Yeah. He would here's the thing.
What are you hitting him with? What's the final combination?
Overhand right for sure.
Overhand
because that's one he finished. He finishes everyone on that, but it's either a left uppercut or overhand right, or probably both at the same time. They're that quick.
to wrap things up.
Yes.
Do you ever think about? I mean, you're young.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of healthy years ahead of you. Do you ever think about the Harry Jowsey legacy?
Oh, yes. Man, you got some fucking great questions.
Thanks, man.
Yes, because I always think, even yesterday, I was like, fuck, man, I could die today. And what have I got left behind? Like, I don't even have a will. I haven't told my mom, like, what I want to get her, all this shit. What am I leaving behind? Like, because I was speeding to my friend's house, which I shouldn't have been driving so fast. But I was thinking about it. I'm like, fuck, man, like people are just gonna leave some like comments on my photo. Or there's not gonna be like a charity. Or I didn't build a school. Or there's not anything. There's not like a company that's like fully functioning by itself, where it's like actively making the world a better place. Or I'm not helping people with like fight their depression. So I'm like, man, I need to just work harder and make all the shit that matters happen. So I don't know. I feel like I'm just, again, scratching the surface. Like I have so much more to do before I get to where I want to be and be the man I want to be. But, I'm closer than I was yesterday. So that's all that matters.
Well, Harry, I'm rooting for you. It was an absolute pleasure to meet you, to get to know you, to talk to you, to have you on my show. And, I'm rooting for you, and I hope that Jake Paul fight.
It'd be crazy, huh?
I'll bet on that third round knockout, or just you by knockout, you straight up.
Just invest in my big clout. That shit will go crazy after that.
Oh my god,
that should be nuts, huh?
Man, you'll be rich, I'll be rich, I'll be rich.
Everyone will be rich.
Dinner on me at Boa. But no, truly, thank you for taking the time. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on my show, and
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
Bro.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram at felix.levine, and if you have something to say, please leave a comment.